Alright, timestamp 6:20. Yeah, I'm not worried about it. June 22nd, 2025. It's about 4 a.m. And we left the door unlocked. That was downright foolish. Okay, yeah, Scrappy. I know it's exciting, but you gotta go. You gotta move. Marveling at what Tiny and I did. See, we've got the brace still there, but now we've got that fridge right there, which should serve as like a little bit of a stopgap in case it fails. Should. Now, if we can move these cabinets forward, they could actually slide underneath and help really support it. That's the idea, anyway. I don't know why my dad didn't do it. They're solid metal cabinets. They'll hold that better than a 2x4 will at the moment, and a lot less possibility of them sliding out anywhere. You know. Oop. Okay, Lanai is terrifying, and I didn't grab a flashlight. Yes, go me. Okay. Just a jump to the left. Okay, why is the tarp all the way out here? That's incredibly not helpful. Just figured I'd walk the pup before I turned in. It's about 4 a.m. Playing video games and watching videos, trying to unwind, get my brain to calm down. Not so easy. And your mama. We bombed Iran. We didn't have to get involved in that. We really didn't. Nope. Didn't have to. Could have just let them in Israel. Duke it out on the playground. We had to wade in like psychotic John Wayne. I'm glad I did what I did here. Not the Iran thing, but Mr. Scrappy Acorn took care of both forms of business. Which means the carpet I saved might have been my own. I just heard him gallop past. Didn't see him, but I heard him. Dude, if you're stopping in front of me, that's a horrible idea because I can't see you. Yeah, left, right, buddy. There we go. I don't do well in the Halloween Horror Nights haunted houses. Not scared. Not a bit. But my eyes don't adjust to bright light, dark. So when they start running those strobes, they actually blind me. Just because my eyes can't adjust fast enough. Whenever we go in those, Vix usually has to walk in front. I usually have my hand on her shoulder because I can't see half the time. I actually love those things, but sometimes we overuse the strobes and done before I start, you know? That'll work. Gently. Okay. Scrappy, you just had one. Go. Go. Is that not adorable? You let him have his cookie. Don't you try and steal. I will smack you right on the popo. Scrap. Enough. Go. Use my daddy voice. If he does that, though, he'll kind of linger around Tanner. See if Tanner might fumble or, need some help with that last little bit. Yeah, I'm talking about you. I'm on to you, kitty. I feel that I'm starting to get a little droopy, which is good. Especially if we are actually getting a delivery of a 250-pound electronic piece of furniture. Kind of need to not be The Walking Dead. Yeah, trying not to do the whole doom scrolling thing, but really just the hell are we doing, people? I'm seeing, of course, continued discussions about the unusual increase in ICE and was it HSI, which is some kind of Homeland Security investigative, but I guess people with HSI on their back plates are showing up at these like major raids and busts and whatnot too. And I'm seeing people that are confused as to where this sudden surplus of foot soldiers came from. And to me it's really obvious, because 1,500 new applicants became available right after the guy got sworn in, because he pardoned a certain group of people. Even if you've been pardoned and your record's been expunged, if everybody knows about it, what you did, what you done, it might be hard to get a job. Unless you got one waiting for you. And maybe, just maybe, considering the extensive video coverage that went into that glorious day in January, maybe you're worried that people are going to be able to identify you in public. You're worried about that because, you had your face all over the place and you went to court and yada de yada. So, maybe your new boss in your new role would allow you to wear, like, a mask or something that would hide your face from prying eyes and keep you out of the limelight so that you couldn't be ID'd. Just for your own reputation's sake. Maybe, just maybe. Wake up, people. Where'd all these extra ICE agents come from? Ooh, I know. tell he's actually worried about me in that respect. Just because she thinks, and it's true, I get a lot of people down here that immediately assume that I'm Puerto Rican, or at least Latin. I'm like almost full-blooded German, but the dark hair, the dark eyes, and not now, because I'm pretty much, I'm a shut-in for the most part. It seems like it. But when I was out and about, at least once a day, someone would come up to me and begin speaking in Spanish, which it used to annoy the hell out of me. Now it's just like, yeah, okay, it's a normal day. I don't know what my dog is doing over there. He's being weird. But Pix is very concerned that I'm going to wind up getting shoved into the back seat of a Blazer or something. Because they're going to assume that I'm an illegal immigrant that just speaks really well. Honestly, you don't even have to be that. You can just be someone that pissed them off, right? Hopefully I don't wind up on one of those lists, but there's a whole lot of not doing the right thing going on there. Now, in case anybody has that citizen, non-citizen question in regards to due process, in the paperwork it says no person shall be. It doesn't say no citizen. Besides the fact that even if it did say no citizen, you've got to go to some kind of court procedures to establish whether or not the person is a citizen. So you'd still have to accomplish due process to prove whether or not they're a citizen. So that argument's kind of self-defeating, because no matter what, they must have their day in court. Even if you are using the wrong words, you still are forcing the idea that they would have to. You have to go to court to prove that they're not a citizen before you could deport, is my point. There's no argument that works as far as picking them up, putting them in the back of a Blazer, and then on a plane. There's no argument that works there. It's illegal no matter what. So I had that discussion with someone the other day. They were like, well, if they're not a citizen, like, how do you establish that? Well, like, so you'd have to, like, look at paperwork and maybe go to court or something to establish whether or not they are a citizen or not, by that argument. So you would still have to have some form of due process, their day in court kind of thing. Oh, well, yeah, I guess. So just shoving them on a plane and sending them to El Salvador is breaking policy, whether you read it correctly or incorrectly. It would have to be the breaking of policy. Yeah, I guess so. Correct. Now we have something we can build from. Anyway. Unbelievable. It was unbelievable. And here we are. So I'm telling my kids we just gotta speak truth, but just try and get our work done, because we got projects galore. Try and keep my dad out of trouble if I can. Because I did get notification again yesterday, I don't know if I mentioned this, that he might have tried to kind of escape again. I gotta get him into a VA facility. I think the civilian facility he's in is fine and dandy and well and all that, but he's gonna beat him. Mark my words, he's gonna beat him. Because quite frankly, he's smarter than there. I think their security is fairly good, and I think they're cocky, because every time I mention to them, be careful, he's studying you, I get this almost dismissive, patronizing, we've seen this before. And I'm just, okay. Okay. Alright. You're dealing with, like, almost a special forces mentality with dementia, 80 some odd years of experience as far as life. Is his brain broken? Yes. Yes, it is. Will he still probably outweight you at some point? Yes, I think he will. And I don't want to get that phone call. So, need to get him in the VA facility. Nobody seems to really grok, and I'm going to use that word correctly, his capability. Sorry, I saw that. I think Elon was trying to hijack that word for one of his things. No. Leave Heinlein alone. You're not worthy. No. One of the greatest science fiction works of all time. You don't get to... Nope. You don't get to put your drug-stained fingers on that. No, you do not. Nope. No. I said no. Anyway, I'm going to finish off my little bit of coffee here, and I'm going to lay down. 4:17. I may or may not have a Zybox in the morning. I'm not sure. I got a kind of cryptic text from the guy that is coordinating the shipment, so... Anyway. Be careful out there. Okay. And make it a great day.